What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Kicks by Key, and welcome back to my channel. Just want to say Happy New Year. It is officially 2025, and we have made it to another successful year of doing YouTube. So, to kick things off at the beginning of this year, like I did state earlier, in late 2024, that I wanted to, start something new to my channel. So I figured why not start in the beginning of 2025. So here is the start of the It With Kei Podcast. I'm very, very, very excited to get this podcast on a roll. This is the first episode. So what to expect in this episode? We really just going to talk about what I'm bringing to the channel, what to expect from the channel, and things of that nature. But before I get started, also want to tell you guys, thank you to all my supporters who have supported me on this long journey. We are just getting started, really. We got a long way to go, but this is just the beginning. So setting a new goal for this year, 2025. This is a fresh start. So first thing, like I said, starting the podcast. We already got that up and rolling. Next, I want to try to achieve 100K views for my channel as a whole. I know last year I put up, I think it was right at 70K views. So this year I want to excuse me. This year I want to try to put up 100K. I want to try to put that on myself. Or if we can even get a little bit more than 100K, then I'll be super glad with that. Also, we are chasing that 1K subscribers goal. Still haven't gave up on that yet. We are currently at 656. We lost a couple subs, but it's cool. We're going to generate it back. Hopefully with me starting this podcast, that'll help with a lot of things too. So so let's talk about the origins. So where did I come up with the name Kicks by Key? So I got a couple things jotted here down on my MacBook, but I figured I'd give you guys a little bit of spill on how I came up with this whole podcast idea. So like I always stated, I'm gonna keep giving him his flowers. My boy Darnell, or Universal Footgear, that's down in Detroit. Me and him crossed paths the one time I went to Detroit, Michigan. What happened was, it was when I got my Kobe 8 Venice Beaches. So I put in a raffle for those. I really wanted those Kobe's, and this was my first pair of Kobe's anyway. So this was like very sentimental to me. So I had to get them. So here in Buffalo, sometimes we don't really get the best releases, like the hyped up stuff. We might not get stuff like that. So I figured, I'm like, okay, well, let me put in the nearest location that might have a Kobe. So I tried Cleveland. What happened? I hit, but instead of me picking Cleveland, I thought I picked Cleveland. Whole time I picked Detroit, Michigan. So I was kind of panicking because I'm like, damn, I never drove to Detroit, Michigan before. So I'm like, it's going to be a long drive, this, that, and the third. Do I really feel like driving on there for a pair of shoes? But after talking with a couple people and just knowing that sneakers is like really my passion, I really love sneakers, I figured, okay, why not just take this trip down to Detroit, get these shoes, and we just going to come right back. So from where I live, if you cut through Canada, it's only about a 4.5-hour drive. So that's what I did. I rented a car, cut through Canada, got there in 4 hours, and I walked in the Foot Locker that they had down there. And I was in line, and the lady asked for my account number. So I gave her my phone number. And once she seen the 716 area code, she was like, 716? Where's 716? So I told her it was Buffalo, New York. And I believe he was like right behind me or something like that. And he overheard me say that, I drove all the way from Buffalo, New York. So once I grabbed my shoes, I checked out whatever. He came, approached me. And he was just real cool off the bat. Like, it wasn't a weird vibes, no nothing. He was like, yeah, man. He's like, I overheard you. You say you drove all the way from Buffalo. And I was like, yeah, I just drove, get these shoes. No big deal. But I told him I do YouTube, and he said he did YouTube too. Told him I was a sneakerhead. He clearly is a sneakerhead. So we kicked it. We talked for like 5 minutes. He put me in his vlog. And, off rip, like me, my zodiac sign is a Cancer, so like I'm good at picking up on energy like very, very well. And he was cool, like it wasn't no weird vibes, no nothing. He even put me in his vlog, and he didn't have to do that. He just met me 5 minutes ago. He didn't have to do that, but that just goes to show you that we still have some genuine people out here in the world. So I'm forever grateful for that, because ever since that day we when we crossed paths, we just been in touch ever since. I watch all his videos. I don't miss a beat. I watch his podcast, and I never miss a video. So yeah, that's kind of where this whole podcast thing came up with, because he has his own podcast, and just watching his podcast and like just seeing how he is as a person and what he brings to the table, I'm like, man, like this is like super, super motivating me, because like I like seeing other people win and other people eat. So like that put a battery in my back, like, all right, bro, you could do this, step out of your comfort zone. Me, I always was the nervous person. I never really like talking in front of people, and it took me a while to even do this YouTube stuff. I remember my first YouTube video, I had people in the house with me when I was recording. I kicked them out the house because I was just so nervous. I just needed to be in here by myself. Shot my first video, and everything's been great since then. So forever grateful for crossing paths with him, because now look where I'm at almost a year later. Now I'm starting my own podcast. So that was just a little bit of history on why I considered doing a podcast. Now, how I ended up coming up with the name, the Kick It With Kei Podcast. So what happened with that is that I had a bunch of names. I'm not gonna lie. Some of the names really was terrible. I can't remember every name that I had for it, but majority of the names, they wasn't clicking. Like, I'm like, all right, man. Like, at some point in time, I almost thought about giving up. Like, man, I can't think of no name. And then most of the names I was thinking about, they was pretty much already taken up already. So I'm like, I don't want to be like nobody else. I want my own name. I want to stick out from everybody else. So, what happened was, I think it took me, I'm not gonna lie, it took me maybe like 3 months to really find a name, because like me, like I always say, like I'm that guy that everything has to be perfect. When I mean perfect, like everything has to be perfect. So I'm coming up with names. I'm like, that's cool, but it sounds corny, blah, blah. Fast forward, maybe like 2.5 months later, something just clicked in my head. I'm like, the Kick It With Kei Podcast. I'm like, that sounds dope, and it's also different. I feel like the Kick It With Kei, like the kick it part, I feel like it's like a double entendre. It could mean two different things. So, excuse me. If you guys obviously are in tune with my YouTube channel, I do sneaker reviews. That's why I did Kicks by Kei. Something like that. So I'm like, okay, Kick It With Kei could mean, you come kick it, we talk, we on a podcast, or, we just kick it, whatever. Cool. Or kick it or kick could mean like shoes, kicks. That's what I call shoes, kicks anyway. So I just felt like that had like a double entendre for it. And ever since then, I mean, I really just came up with the name Kick It With Kei. Now as far as the logo process go, me, I am an artist. I do know how to draw, so I can draw logos and stuff like that. But for this podcast, just starting off, because I want to see how things go, I'm like, I'm going to just do something basic for now and see how it go. And if I like it, I'll progress down the line and then change the logo then. But I feel like the logo that I came up with, it was fine. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it took almost a day for me to really figure out how I wanted to do the logo, because the logos that I had in mind, like, it was just too complex, or I would have had to pay somebody to make it. And I kind of was trying to get things on the go, because my goal for this podcast was I wanted this podcast to be out by the end of the year. Well, not the end of the year, not out by the end of the year, but I at least wanted my ideas or what I was going to call it or logo at least by the end of the year. So going into the new year, I can announce it to you guys and I can get things rolling. So that was kind of the whole thing with that. I came up with the logo. I critiqued it around a little bit because the first model that I had, it looked just too plain. So I added a couple things to it, but I also still wanted it to be simple in a certain way. So that's how I came up with the logo there, and everything else was really history from there. But my goal with this podcast is to just have another way of talking to you guys out there, because typically you only hear from me if I'm only doing a sneaker review, or I might do a vlog, or if you're lucky enough to catch me streaming when I'm playing a game. But lately, I've been tied up doing other stuff and trying to really take my channel to the next level. So I've been tied up with that. So I haven't had time to really stream and do stuff like that anyways. But now that I got this podcast rolling, this is something for me to do throughout the week to keep myself going. So as far as that, so next what happened, once I got the idea, I'm like, okay, well, now I need, some type of equipment. I pretty much had majority of the stuff already. Like, obviously you need a computer. I have a MacBook. I also have another computer here on the side. So that was already perfect. I didn't have to go buy that. Camera, I already got a camera. Tripod, I got lights. The only thing I really was lacking as far as the equipment that I needed for the podcast was the microphones, and I needed maybe an adapter piece. Far as software and stuff, the software that I'm using is pretty much free software, so I didn't really have to spend too much money for that. I think, like I said, the only thing that I bought was 2 microphones and the adapter piece that connects into the computer. But other than that, everything else was pretty much already set in stone. So that was cool. I didn't really have to spend too much. So that was like kind of like a weight off my shoulders. So that was cool. Now as far as this podcast, I'm gonna try. Not even gonna try, because I pretty much figured it out already. The podcast is gonna run. It's gonna air once a week. So once a week is gonna come out, and then on top of that, it's gonna run concurrent to my weekly shoe reviews that I do for you guys too. So you'll be getting 2 videos a week. So my goal for this year really is to just be as consistent as possible. I've critiqued a lot of things. So now heading into 2025, I plan on uploading way more for you guys. Instead of once a week, now I could do it twice because I got the podcast. And then I have my YouTube videos. Not to mention I'm going to be uploading YouTube shorts. And just things of that nature. Like this year, I really don't want to get too bored creating content. Like I want to stay busy, and just creating as much content as possible. So that's really my plan for 2025. Also, what is it? What else? Let me see. Yeah, I mean, just really staying busy. Also, we are gonna try to get a Spotify, Apple Podcast count running. Once I get this thing up and running and I upload everything, I plan on making those 2 accounts so you guys can also, if you don't want to watch on here, or you can also find me on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and that's just for other people who is not subscribed, that just want to, listen to different various amounts of podcasts. I got 2 other ways of putting my podcast out there, so that's a start as well. The days that this podcast is gonna run on, I think I'm leaning really towards every Tuesday. I was debating if I wanted to do Saturdays or Sundays, but I kind of want to drop to where my video is coming out at the beginning of the week, so to give you guys, okay, we got a fresh start going into the week. And then on top of that, typically I drop my videos either Saturdays or Sundays. Mondays the most if I'm running behind on some things like that. So the podcast will be dropping Tuesdays. Now times, I think I'm gonna go with 1 p.m. So Tuesdays, every Tuesday at 1 p.m. the Kick It With Kei podcast will air on YouTube, on Spotify, and Apple Podcasts once I get those 2 platforms up and running. Yeah, so that's cool. I'm just super excited to really get started on stuff like this. Also, guys, I will have guests on here as well. Today is just me talking because I wanted to give you guys just some clarity on what to expect with this podcast. But every episode you might see someone different. My brother Antonio, my brother TJ, just various amounts of guests, but these are my peoples. Now as far as Other guests that I don't know, if I'm open to them doing that, I haven't really figured that out yet. I just kind of want to stick with my peoples for now. We're gonna be talking about various amounts of things. Like I said, this podcast is gonna range. We're gonna be talking about sneakers. We're gonna be talking about sports. We're gonna be talking about fashion. We're gonna be talking about the culture, whether it's a sneaker culture, or the fashion world, or just anything that's really going on out there. I'm not gonna really touch on like the other stuff like politics and religion and stuff. I'll leave all of that out. But it's pretty much free game for everything else. We're gonna be talking about certain stuff like that, and super excited like basketball, football, baseball, just sports in general, because I do have a true passion for sports. Like anybody that knows me, like my family members and stuff like that, they'll tell you like I used to sit in front of the TV all day and literally just watch Sports Center, like all day, continuously. Like I would just sit there and watch it all day. So like I can tell you about stuff that went on back then, like the old football, now new football. Like it's just sports in general. Basketball, I love basketball. I have a huge heart for basketball. So definitely that's gonna be interesting talking about that on this podcast. And yeah, just to let y'all know out there, as far as football, I am a Buffalo Bills fan, so these talks will definitely be interesting from the football standpoint. But yeah, super excited. Like I keep saying, to just get things rolling. Guests will be on here once a week, just like the videos will be running once a week. So yeah, just super excited, man, to see where this podcast is gonna take me. I'm praying that we have a huge amount of success with this podcast. Not just this podcast, just with my YouTube as a whole. I really want to expand this year. I want to really just excel and climb the ladder. Like I got so much stuff lined up this year for my YouTube, man. I'm just like, I'm ready to take it to the next level. And that's why I really pushed myself to really do this podcast, because I really wasn't going to do that because I was just nervous. I'm like, man, what if this don't go right, or what if it's just this, or what if it's that? But at the end of the day, like when you want to be great and you want to take your stuff to the next level, you got to do things that makes you uncomfortable. Because if you ask most of the successful people out here, how did they get to where they're at? Most of them will tell you that they did things that made them uncomfortable. And I mean, that's true. Like when you do things that makes you uncomfortable, in due time, you'll get comfortable enough doing it. You're just going to keep doing it. You're going to keep doing it. You're going to gain a love and a passion for it. And then you just going to take off like a rocket. So, that was my thing with this. So, I know there's nothing in this world that I can't do. Nothing is impossible. Like the sky is not even a limit. That's the way that I see it. Like I just really want to take the Kicks by Key and the Kick It With Key podcast to an all-time high. Want to shout out all my peers, everyone who has helped me, everybody who has motivated me. I really appreciate you guys, because yeah, it's crazy. Like I never thought I would see myself doing something like this. Like I was always the shy kid. I was always the kid that, to be honest, like just looking at like all these shoes and all this stuff that like, I never had none of this stuff. And like I just thank God that he put me in a position to do most of this stuff, because like I said, I didn't come from Travis Scott's and the latest Jordans and this. No, don't get it wrong though. I was fresh, I was clean. I just didn't have the latest Jordans and stuff like that. Like my mom did what she could, and I'm forever grateful for that. So watching this, mom, love you. But yeah, man, I'm just a kid from Buffalo, man, and I'm trying to put Buffalo on the map with this sneaker stuff. I mean, like I said, we got a little bit of movement here, but like with this YouTube stuff and using this podcast as another platform to put my stuff out there, like bro, like that, I'm just super excited to do that, and I know for a fact that this is gonna work, man. I prayed about this. I worked hard towards all of this stuff, and yeah, I'm just excited to see where it's gonna take me. Definitely want to give myself a pat on the back because 2024 was like a crazy year. Excuse me, I keep coughing. I'm trying to get over a little cold that I have, but 2024 was a very challenging year. As content creators, like, we might make certain stuff look easy, but this stuff is not easy. And especially for me, with me doing this YouTube, all the videos that you guys see me do, whether it's unboxing, reviews, is TikToks, all of that is shot by me. Or, I might get a little help from Nye and stuff like that, but for the most part, everything is shot by me. Everything is edited by me. Everything is just put out by me. All the equipment, all the stuff is bought by me on top of working a 9 to 5, which I say proudly because I'm not rich yet. So I'm working a 9 to 5. I'm in school, and then not to mention, YouTube is a job by itself. So this stuff is definitely not easy. It takes a lot of hard work and dedication and consistency. Like, you really have to be dedicated when you want to do this YouTube stuff, and I say that to everybody that's out there. You have to be dedicated. You cannot be lazy with this YouTube stuff because you got to remember, like, you got to get somebody to actually watch your video. It's different if it's like TikTok or so somebody just click on it and scroll up. Like, no, YouTube, you have to get people to actually watch your stuff and engage in your stuff. And that's not easy to do because that's basically showing a stranger your videos or your work and you just expecting them to like it or grasp onto that. No, that takes time. So that's why you have to be consistent. And once a person keeps seeing your stuff over and over and over again, they might be like, okay, well, we see Kevon dropping consistently, or who is this guy that keep dropping? Let me tap in. So let me subscribe to his channel now. So, that's one of the things that I always tell myself with this YouTube stuff, even like when I want to quit or I want to give up. Like, you got to think, like, you have to invest a lot of money in this YouTube stuff. Like, this stuff is not cheap. This equipment, these computers, as you can see, these behind me, these aren't cheap at all, whether you hit retail or resale. These are all investment pieces to me. I look at my shoes as all investment pieces. I look at all this equipment, all of this stuff. This is all investment pieces to get me to the next level. So you definitely have to invest in yourself with this YouTube stuff as well. So anybody that's out there that want to start YouTube, go for it. Don't let nobody tell you you can't do it, this, that, and the third. Bro, you got to block all that out and just really have tunnel vision for the stuff that you really want. Like, man, you could have fun. You could probably do all that later, man. Build a foundation. Start grinding now. So by the time you older or you can retire, or if you don't want to work a 9 to 5, you can make money in your sleep. Just start building a foundation now. So that way you can work now and ball later. So that's the type of mindset that I've been on really lately. Like, bro, I've just been so focused on my YouTube, bro. Like, nothing, like, it sounds crazy, but like, nothing matters to me when it's about my YouTube. Like, I don't care. Well, to an extent, I don't care what's going on. But for the most part, like, when I'm grabbing these shoes and getting these reviews out for y'all, I go grab the shoes. I'm shooting a video same day, and I'm getting the video out, edited, done, thumbnail, all that same day. And that's not easy to do. Like, that is a different type of dedication, and you gotta have that dedication if you want to be great. Like, you have to. So yeah, man, it just a lot. But I mean, 2024 is gone. We turning the page over now to 2025. 2024, I did a lot of great things, but this is only the beginning. 2025, I plan on even going 20 times more than what I did in 2024. Like, my collection, this is probably going to be double by the end of the year, which that was another goal for me. I want to try to double my shoe collection by the end of the year. That was like a goal for me. I know I'm going to reach that with no problem. Views that I got, like I said, I did 70K. This year, I want to do 100K, even though that's not double. 100K, if not 140K, 200K, the subscribers. I mean, I started, you got to remember, 2024, I started with 200 subscribers on the dot. I remember my goal, my first year doing YouTube, I wanted to hit 200 subscribers by the end of the year. when the ball dropped for the following year, I hit my 200 subscribers. So the beginning of last year, 2024, the beginning of 2024, I started with 200 subscribers. End of the year, I ended off with 658 subscribers. So I gained 458 subscribers. So this year I want to double that. Like, I'm trying to hit that 1K goal, because I know when I hit that 1K goal, like, man, it's over. Like, I want to start getting monetized and stuff like that. So that's like my biggest goal is, like, I really just want to, man, just go global with the sneaker stuff with my YouTube and stuff like that, because I really, really have a passion for sneakers. I love sneakers. I've studied sneakers, and for me to be able to obtain all of these shoes is like a blessing, man. I'm just super happy. So yeah, definitely hope y'all are looking forward to the Kick It with Kei podcast that will be dropping every Tuesday at 1 p.m. So make sure y'all lock that in. Make sure you have y'all notification bells on so you are notified when I'm dropping new videos and stuff like that. And like I said, 2025, man, we going up. This is just a little short, brief video, but the next video that you guys will see, we will have an official guest, my first guest on there. We're going to be chopping it up about some things. They're going to give a little history about who they are and stuff like that. And we just going to have fun. We're going to kick it. We're going to talk, and it's going to be a good time. So, want to give a huge shout out to all my supporters, all my subscribers. If you are a new subscriber, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Share this podcast, like, comment, and subscribe. Also, go check out my latest video that I put out. I plan on dropping some more videos. I might drop, let me see. I'm going to try to drop a video before this podcast video is out. So make sure you had that notification bell on so you are notified when I drop videos for my my Kicks by Kei YouTube channel, which is the same channel as this one. I'm just going to have a separate tab for the podcast, so when it come out, you can still subscribe to my Kicks by Kei YouTube channel, and then if you scroll over, it'll be a tab that says podcast where these videos will be. So yeah, like I said, if you are a new subscriber, thank you for stopping on through. Make sure you subscribe. If you are a returning subscriber watching this, stick around to this end of this video, hit that thumbs up for your boy. And yeah, man, we just about to take this all the way to the top. So hope you guys are looking forward to the podcast, because I know I am. It's going to be fun. I know y'all guys going to enjoy this podcast. It's going to be good vibes. And yeah, just excited to start. So that pretty much ends this video. Just wrapping it up here. So make sure you guys stick around for the next episode. This video will be dropping January 7th. So just make sure you have a notification bell on so you are notified for that as well. And we just going to keep dropping every Tuesday. So, yeah, until then, appreciate all the support. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.